to your questions, I've got a few of my own. I want to know, what do astronauts do? Simplest of terms, right? Not a trick question. What do astronauts do? Yeah, right there, young man. Right there. Okay, we're trying to find out if, not so much if there's life on Mars, but if there's evidence of life having existed on Mars, right? So we have 2 probes on Mars right now. You remember the names? Well, they're 2, yeah, they're Mars rovers, but they have a name. They're called, there's 2 of them, right? Does anybody remember? Yeah? No? Spirit of Opportunity, that's right. And very good, very good. Now, one of those is stumped right now. Nick, where are you at, Nick? There you are. Did we get it out?
We are still working it, Sam, and with each passing day, it's looking a little bleaker.
Yeah. Now, having said that, the satellites, or those 2 probes have been up there now for 5 years, and are we working on its 5th year? 5th year. And the original design life of those 2 rovers was, who can tell me? Yeah, 3 months, 90 days. Very good. Did you work on that project, my son? No. Yeah, 90 days. Now, the things have lasted, and they're working up there, like I said, now going on the 5th year. Why did it have such a short mission duration? What was the 90 days? Do you remember the reason for that? That's right. That's exactly right. Now, what do we have a lot of on Mars? Dust. That's right. And we get fairly violent dust storms on the planet. And so the solar panels that propel the spacecraft to recharge the batteries, basically they recharge the batteries, they thought that they would degrade over time as they got covered up by dust. And so, yeah, they expected those things to degrade over time, as they've obviously lasted a lot longer. All right, well, so let's see. So we go to space. What do we do when we get there? We talked a little bit about Mars, but yeah, what do we do when we get to space? Yeah, you bet, experiments. Now, what kind of experiments might we do? Yeah. What kind of experiments? Apples, where you saw those apples floating around up there? You bet. We're looking at centrifugal forces up there and those kinds of things. What other kind of experiments might we do in space? Yeah. Yeah, bone loss. The human body goes through a whole bunch of changes when you get to space, right? We lose blood volume, muscle mass, bone mineral content. And for example, blood loss. You'll lose 1 liter of blood volume the first 24 hours that you're in space. Here on the planet, the blood is pooled in the lower extremities, legs, midsection, but in space it's more evenly distributed through the body. And the body doesn't need that much blood volume in order to maintain your normal blood pressure monitoring and control systems. So you start getting rid of it. Just as increased urine production the first 24 to 36 hours. And the bone mineral content loss, so certainly we're of interest to that because the accelerated rate of bone mineral loss. So we're allowed to look at bone density things and look at applications to things like osteoporosis. All right, so here we are now, orbiting the Earth. We put some thrust behind this thing, and we're orbiting the Earth. And what is keeping us in that orbit? Gravity. If we lose our gravity, we can't stay there, right? So is there a little bit of gravity or a lot of gravity? A lot. You bet. That's what keeps us in space, right? That's what keeps us orbiting in space, allows us to do the work up there and ultimately come home. All right, the force that we experience at liftoff is 1.5 Gs. Now, the space shuttle is only stressed to 3 Gs. It's not a very strong spacecraft. Compare that to a commercial airliner. Commercial airliners are stressed to 2.5 Gs. We certify commercial airliners to 2.5 Gs. Now, a fighter aircraft is certified to about 9 to 12 Gs, to put it in perspective. Right, so the space shuttle is only built and designed to 3 Gs. We actually throttle the engines back at the end of the trajectory to keep from overstressing the spacecraft. Now, we don't have to build it stronger than that because we don't need to experience more Gs during the acceleration to get to space. Now, it's expensive to carry weight to orbit. We figure it's $10,000 a pound to carry a pound to space. So if you can shave off a few pounds on the spacecraft, that helps, and you do that by reducing the structural integrity and structural strength.
Do you watch movies in space?
We have the opportunity to watch movies in space on the long duration missions, but we don't watch movies in space because why would you? You can look out the window and see these incredible views of the world go by, right? So that's where whenever we have any free time, we're plastered to the window, watching the world go by.